All right, I'll now go over to you, Michael Otim Mulalu Kirkpatrick. 1 minute. I think you're already unmuted. Okay, so over to you, Michael. Please introduce yourself and your 5 minutes starts now.
You might have to get ready with a mute button because I may go over my 5 minutes. Try and keep it brief. I dropped some information into the chat box. So if you get a chance, whether it's now or after this, to go and review what's in the chat box that's said by everybody that's attended here, and even the comments that have been posted on the Facebook page. Make sure you go back and review and connect with like-minded people. Facebook comments. There's far more people viewing through Facebook than there is here in the Zoom meeting, so keep that in mind. You have a wide reach all around the world, and people are listening. You may not hear from them or get responses from them. They may be silent, but your voices are definitely being amplified. One of the things that I've been able to do, just for some context, I've been traveling to Uganda back and forth many times since 1998. There's a whole story behind that, and I'll save that again for later. One of the initiatives that I got involved in was when I shared some of my experiences after basically innocently stumbling into the war in the north. I was adopted by the elders in Lechotacho, and they shared with me information. David Achana, the paramount chief of Acholi land, gave me permission to document the atrocities going on in northern Uganda. So I traveled to the IDP camps to document evidence for the Western world, especially for my government to see. That when I came back and I shared that information through the media, I was contacted by a filmmaker in Australia who was interested in the story and the information. She did her due diligence with her research team. She spoke with people, with Ugandans and academics, scholars all around the world. In New York City, she talked to people at the UN. In Washington, D.C., she talked with diplomats and Ugandans themselves. And she traveled to northern Uganda to speak directly with victims and with families and loved ones of victims. That information is now the documentary film called A Brilliant Genocide. I don't know how many of you have heard of it. It was released in 2016. It was screened at film festivals all around the world. It was seen by many, many people. It was shown in Washington, D.C. It's been shown in New York City. It's been shown in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. I know for a fact that it was shown at The Hague in Belgium. I know for a fact that during the trial of Victor Ongwen, who was an LRA commander, references were made to A Brilliant Genocide, and the evidence that is clearly documented and truthful and corroborated is in that film. And what we were able to do is, from the witness stand at the ICC, even Victor Ongwen said, I may be guilty, but I'm not the only guilty one. And we need to put all of our playing cards on the table, and we need to identify all guilty parties. And the dictator of Uganda is a guilty party. So I encourage you, again, I put the information for A Brilliant Genocide in the chat box. If you get a chance to look at it, hopefully you have access to it. You don't have any internet blocks or restrictions to it. I am going to be talking to the people and the owners of this platform that hopefully maybe sometime in the near future, we'll be able to do an online screening of this film, and we'll do proper marketing and promotion for it so that not only you will know the time, but you will in advance be able to share and tell your friends, not just your Ugandan friends, but your neighbors in your communities, representatives of your government, people who patronize the businesses of Museveni will be able to see this evidence, and I call it 70 minutes of ammunition.
Wow.
To hold the perpetrators of these horrible atrocities and bring them to justice. Thank you very much.
Michael, thank you so much for first of all joining and participating, but of course, as a friend of Uganda, thank you so much for all the work that you have been involved in, and obviously for raising our voice far and beyond the borders of Uganda. That is definitely something we would be interested in. We have a lot of interest in using this platform. This is exactly what this platform is designed to do, to bring people who have a common cause in ditching the dictator together. And so we'll be very, very keen to work very closely with you to share as much information. And 70 minutes of ammunition is something that we would definitely be interested in participating in and getting involved in. Now, Michael, you might not know, but we do have a technical team that's supporting us who've managed to dig out the trailer of the video that you've mentioned, and we're just going to play it before we move on to the Twitter bombing session. Thank you again for joining us. Please let everyone know that we're here every Saturday, 2 to 5, for exactly this cause, to bring people who are committed to getting a better Uganda. Thank you so much again, and let's watch the trailer of the video that Michael has just talked about.
People give estimates about how many people who exterminated or assassinated political opposition. Museveni's done more, yet nobody associates Museveni with atrocities.
Museveni managed to impress the Western world. They didn't know that he was actually a wolf in a sheep's skin.
Museveni's become the master and divide and rule. He knows how to set one ethnic group against the other to his own advantage and for his benefit.
Museveni's army was moving from village to village. If they were not burning houses, then they're shooting people down. If they are not shooting people down, they are destroying crops.
Government soldiers would actually perpetrate these atrocities and then make it appear as if the LRA had committed those crimes.
And rape is being used as a weapon of war. A lot of women who have been raped cannot tell their story because nobody is going to believe them.
Men were being raped for the first time.
In front of their families, in front of their children, and in front of their wives.
Those of us who come from northern Uganda know what it means to be dehumanized, to be reduced to nothingness.
Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch have documented these atrocities. Yet, Museveni is untouchable.
Shocking thing is that the government was able to forcibly displace them, then not provide food, shelter, medicine, or protection.
They were taken to these concentration camps in order to be destroyed.
At its peak, 1,000 people every week were dying because of the conditions in the camp.
Museveni and his key commanders who committed atrocities, crimes of war, crimes against humanity, should be investigated, should be indicted. To date, nothing has happened.
We must not let the world forget. We must keep on telling the stories. We must keep the memory of suffering alive.
No food, no hydration, sexual violence from the soldiers who were meant to protect them. That's why this was A Brilliant Genocide is silent genocide, perfect crime.
Wow, I have seen this trailer before, and I would love to watch the full video. So Michael would definitely be interested in speaking to you to see how we can get this streamed out to everyone who watches us and who's on Facebook. Thank you so much.